Today is January 10th, 2015. So I know Meads and Schlappers. I'm not sure who else's houses these are close by.
This is Levine.
Levine, okay. And I know Molly and Brad's. And we're here. The address is 115 Brookside?
That's correct.
Interesting that I know it. And here's Len Peterson.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm very well. So tell us a little bit about you, because you've been here for quite some time.
My wife and our kids have been here for over 40 years, 42 years.
Great.
And many years ago, in 1972, it was a Sunday morning. Jill and I went out to look for property to build our dream home.
Mm-hmm.
I was a young architect. And I think it's every architect's dream to one day have the opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazed how many of my colleagues have not had that opportunity. But anyway, we came out here. We had no money, but we had big ideas. And this lot was for sale. I had saved a little ad in the paper. It said wooded acre with creek, $10,000. And of course, like I say, we had very little money, but we came out here. It was heavily wooded, and we were thrashing our way through the woods. There seemed to be a tree every 12 inches. And lo and behold, we found a log cabin hiding in the woods. And I think that's what triggered our thought that, wow, wouldn't this be fun? So that very day, we bought the property with no expectation of looking at another property. This was going to be it. And so the rest, as they say, is history. We started drawings for the home. I had in mind a two-story home, and I wasn't really happy with the way it was going. And we were in Mexico for business, and we sat outside in a beautiful area, and I said, you know what, honey, we're going to start over. And we came back, and when I laid out the property, it fell that the house had to be about 21 feet wide and traverse the property at a 120-degree angle. That's because of the big 300-year oak tree, the log cabin, the building setback line, and the creek. Well, lo and behold, 120-degree angle is that part of a hexagon. And one thing led to another, and we decided to try to design a hexagonal home. And we went for permit. We had a pitched roof on the house, pretty much the way it is now, except I fell in love with a 12-foot hexagonal skylight for the living room, but it required a flat roof. So there went the pitched roof idea. And so we ended up with a flat roof that can cause you some problems over the years, but we've dealt with it, and we've had a lot of fun here. We raised 4 children. We now have 9 grandchildren. We're looking to move on to the next chapter in our life, but we had a lot of good times here with this home and the log cabin. John, you've been involved here in the house for some time too.
For some time.
I remember you cutting logs for us in '91.
Absolutely. Let's take a walk back there. I think the first time.
And playing on our deck.
Yep.
And the kids had a lot of fun together here.
I think the first time I was here was probably around 85, 84, 85.
Yeah.
So we're sort of passing by the garage. What is the garage? Tell me, when was it built? What's happened in the garage?
The garage was built in '76. It's a 2.5-car garage.
Mm-hmm.
And the garage door on the back end here, such that lawn equipment can come in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And the house was positioned and laid out to exactly line up with the main house. And the idea was that one day we were going to connect the two. And of course I have drawings to do that. But sometimes the best laid plans are not fulfilled, and we never did connect the house to the garage. We've had people come and look at the home, and one of the first things they talk about is how to connect the house to the garage. And like I say, it does line up perfectly if one were, in fact, to do that.
Yep.
And in the back here, the house has a pretty good sized deck that we enjoy every summer. And if you think back to doing it in the early 70s, over time, the deck had a lot of problems. So about 7 years ago, my son and I took it down completely to the earth. We put in new concrete foundations and rebuilt the deck as you see it now. It's all California, clear heart redwood. And in the summer with plantings and flowers, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I feel like we should do this again when it's all
It's
green
it's always
and
pretty
colorful.
with the snow, but
It
in
is.
the summer we have a lot of perennials, a lot of forest here that's so beautiful when it's in full bloom.
Let's take a peek back by the forest.
Okay. We have in 1992 we bought a half acre from this home next door. Well, we bought the home, then deeded a half acre to us, and then resold the home. And we're so happy we did that. It gives us more frontage on the creek.
How much frontage?
600 feet.
Wow.
And even though we're very good friends with our neighbor here, they have a number of dogs, the rescue dogs. And the dogs are fairly quiet. But now I have property that doesn't have a dog fence all the way to the back.
Right.
So we're kind of happy we did that. And like I say, they're very nice people and we enjoy them.
So it's funny, I haven't been back here in a long time because my vivid memory of this area was it was solid buckthorn and bushes and everything else. And
Jill and I, and Jill in particular, I'll bet if I said she took down 100 trees, she took down 500 trees, small ones.
Yep.
Many buckthorn. And now it's so beautiful in the spring when all the perennials come up. And of course the road was widened in the last couple of years from 2 lanes to 5. So we were a little worried about road noise, but in the summer you can't see the road. Right now you can see a few vehicles going by.
Yeah, but it's not very noisy.
The other thing we're quite happy about is some very nice people across the creek in the house that you can see through there. Their name is Gustafson. They have a couple of young boys. And they bought all the property that we're looking at on the other side of the creek.
Gotcha.
And they're going to keep it natural.
Nice.
They're not going to build anything on it. And so it's such a nice plus for us.
Yeah.
Because again, in the summer, the vegetation is such that it's very private back here and very enjoyable. And when the creek floods in the spring, it's beautiful. It can be 100 feet wide and fast. And now it's very docile and just a nice little creek.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Bull Creek.
This is part of Bull Creek?
That is Bull Creek.
Okay.
We've had a historian out here to look at the log cabin, and they determined that it was built in 1920. In the process of researching the cabin, they really went back to the beginning of Libertyville and how Bull Creek was named Bull Creek. It was first, all the acreage all the way to Casey Road was bought by a man named Wisecoop. And he fell into financial trouble, and a guy named Bull, B-U-L-L, bought it. And of course that's where the name Bull Creek came from. And this whole area was a cattle farm and then a dairy. And at some point the historian thought that maybe this was a logger's cabin when the cattle were being raised. But when they looked at the logs and really studied their character, they felt more inclined that it's 1920.
Okay.
And that's fun.
Yeah.
The cabin was in very poor condition. Over the years, we put a new roof on it, made windows for it, we put a concrete foundation in it.
What kind of roof is it?
It's just shakes, cedar shakes.
Cedar, yep. And they're real.
And we fixed up the inside, and we've had Santa Claus here many times.
Oh, yeah.
We've had Thanksgiving here. It's been a retreat for my partners every September 30th for about 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
And we've had a lot of fun with it.
We should have.
Of course, it's pretty chilly today.
We should have got a fire started before we start shooting.
The fire going and the little stove and the fireplace. Let's see, it was Christmas Eve this year. We started here at 4 o'clock with all our relatives.
Mm-hmm.
We were about 22 people here in the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a rip-roaring fire going. We had some hot wine. And we had such a nice time. And we took family portraits of everybody out here. And I look up here, Dad and I built the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And
is that cedar?
That's a rough sawn cedar.
Nice.
I put the hearth in, the mantle in over the fireplace, and I had a nice Italian gentleman come and rebuild the hearth.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's fun to have it. We have so many nice memories out here. Our son stayed out here for a whole summer.
Yeah.
And the kudos that I get, which aren't always many, but for a Valentine's Day, I surprised Jill once. We were going out for dinner, and I said, we need to check something in the cabin. There was a lot of snow. And we came out here, and I had set up all the fires. We had a catered meal, a couple bottles of wine. We had the bed set up in the corner. And we stayed out here, had our dinner, had some wine, slept here all night, played games.
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful.
Nice.
I got a few kudos for that.
I bet. And I remember too, with both of these fires going, especially that little box, it cooked in here. We would open the door because it was 85 degrees in here.
Short sleeves on in the dead of winter here.
Yep. And then we would also we spent some time sleeping out here, 5, 6 of us in sleeping bags and go to bed and it's 80 degrees. And then if no one woke up until 3 in the morning, then it was 50 degrees. Put a few more logs in, go back to bed.
Many years ago, we worked with a mechanical engineer on our projects named Slaughter and Schaefer. And Paul Slaughter was telling me, we were discussing my home. He said, I grew up in Libertyville. He said, there's an old log cabin out there. He said, I met my wife in the cabin. And we finally determined it was this cabin.
Wow. Funny.
So,
and all of these pieces, like this central lighting fixture and all that stuff, are all those yours, or were any of them here?
The lighting fixture at an antique shop in Richmond,
nice.
Illinois. And we got a deer skin on the wall that we bought in Norway many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the logs were here, and the logs were, in very good condition. It simply needed a new roof, and it needed windows.
Mm-hmm.
I put the wood floor in, but it's over concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it's weathered nicely over the years. It
Yeah.
kind of looks like an old cabin.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on, I got a focus issue here. Focus.
yeah.
There it goes.
So that's a little bit about the cabin.
Yep. Little foam bed in the
Good
corner.
times.
Very good times. Lots
But
of.
you do have to duck when you go through the
Absolutely.
door. Everybody was kind of short then.
Not gonna lie, I've knocked
Yeah.
my head on
I
this
hit
several
it pretty
times.
good once, and I went right down to my knees.
Yep, I believe it. Lights.
Oh, you hit the light? Good, thank you. I can flash it up there. I just put the puck on it. We could walk around the back.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's only snow, right?
Because you used to have, was there a bridge there before that went
There
over?
was a bridge here before we bought the property.
Okay.
And the new owners across the way, the Gustafsons, have said, if we design it, he'll pay for it.
Oh.
We put it back in.
Okay.
So we're thinking about it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
There's also a much longer story about the Rouse House and
Oh my goodness.
and Jill and Mrs. Mead? No, who was the?
Mr. Manwaring.
Oh, Mr. Mannering, who went over there to enjoy a party with the.
Well, that would take a little longer.
That's
to
a
tell
longer
that
story for a different day, but
Yeah.
but that's where it was in that area. Oh, this is a good sized tree also.
Right over there.
Yeah, right there. This.
A number of years ago, it burned down.
Yep.
And There's a lot of sad stories to that property.
Absolutely.
This lot, in fact, and the one next to it used to belong to that property.
Oh, really?
And this was like their retreat, the cabin and so.
Gotcha. Were the Rouses here before you?
They came, we were here before them.
Okay.
There was a family there named Grahams, very nice people.
Gotcha.
And they sold it to the Rouses.
Gotcha. Let's do...
Before Graham was a family called the Ewings.
Huh.
And they're the ones that we found out a little bit about, were very much involved in the log.
In the what?
In the log cabin.
Log cabin. Gotcha. Let's see, because this is an area I don't remember very well.
Well, you're looking at the creek. It's all frozen over.
Yep.
And Mr. Mead's bridge is
It's still there.
over there, and that's one that broke loose many times and would end up
Sure.
on our property. And
Yep.
we'd have to carry it back.
And that's Gustafson's land now?
Yes,
All the uncleared?
All of that.
Okay.
Yeah, they live in that house
Yeah.
right through there.
Great. And these you planted, these evergreens?
Yeah, I did, because on the other side of the creek was a little building that one of the Rouse children lived
I
in.
remember
Kurt Rouse.
that. Yeah.
And
He had just like a little cabin back there.
yeah, but they piled a lot of debris around it. And when Gustafson's bought the property, they took it down last year.
Mm.
But before that happened, I had these trees transplanted just so we wouldn't have to look at them.
Sure.
And of course, they grew and grew, and they
Yeah.
did their job.
Right. Well, and most of the other trees here, like that's a oak, isn't it?
No, that one is a cottonwood.
Oh, it is.
It's kind of a messy tree.
Yeah, it
We've
is. But
cleaned
they're
it out a number of times.
but they are known for
Most
being
of the other big trees
tall.
are either oak or walnut.
okay. Is that walnut with the corn shape?
No, that's a choke cherry.
Oh, okay.
But the walnuts are all in that way and one out in front.
Gotcha. So I want to get
Now, these
this back.
These
Yeah.
two sliding door units are two what we call the girls' bedrooms, and they were added in 1982.
So the original house, just to backtrack a little bit, that's
Well, that's the pool.
that's the pool, and then that was
That little corner is
a
the
bedroom.
house
Yep.
before the pool addition and the bedroom.
Gotcha. So this corner was the original house, and then in you said 79, the pool went on,
79 for the pool and 82 for the bedroom.
and 82 for these two bedrooms. Do you know
because of the
how many
I
square
love the-
feet was the original house?
The original house was 2,800. With the bedrooms, it's 3,500.
Okay.
The pool is 15. So together, under the one roof is 5,000 square feet.
Right.
Then the garage is another 700.
Yep.
But what's nice about the good old hexagon is that you can add things in a nice way where you really don't realize that you added something to the house. It just kind of flows.
So there's no basement,
There's no basement.
and there's no crawl space?
There's a crawl space for the concrete floor under the whole house.
Oh, there is. I didn't know that. What's in the crawl space?
Well, right
Just
now,
ductwork
nothing.
and...
A lot of wiring down there for telephone systems and computers and
Yep.
what have you.
Nothing else.
Warm and dry.
Okay.
I've been down there many, many times.
I don't think I've ever seen it. There's a hatch in a closet somewhere?
Yes, and I keep our paint supplies down there,
Or? Okay.
but that's about it. We really don't use it for storage.
So originally, the first two bedrooms, you said Roy had one,
Yeah,
and then the girls...
had the other.
Uh-huh. And then when you added the two...
And then the kids grew up and moved out.
Right.
Jill and I moved into the original two bedrooms. We have a bedroom with we call the other bedroom a sitting room. And then these two rooms we still call the girls' rooms.
Gotcha.
And there for a while, Karen and Claudia shared this one, and Molly and Roy shared the other one when they were in town. Of course, our son and Molly moved to Colorado for a while. And so it was just when the holidays came around, all the bedrooms got full usage.
Sure. And this window here is
The laundry.
the laundry room. Was it always that big? Or did
Yes.
you... Okay.
Yeah. Well, inside we widened it,
Okay.
but the window was always there.
Gotcha. I remember a window there. It just seems even bigger.
Well, we're coming around here to the front.
And I don't remember these being so big. These have grown a lot.
Well, they have. It's just a boxwood, and the way we trimmed them, they became little trees.
Right.
We still have our Christmas lights up. Every year we do it a little different.
That's fun. So this,
This is what we call the front door.
right.
And originally it was a solid wood door. And many years ago we took that out and had the glass doors put in. And to our left is what we call the back door.
And what percentage of people come in the front door and what percentage come in the back door?
I was a young, cocky architect and thought I had all this figured out. And it was before the mudroom became well known and very popular. And so now with all the grandkids, they come in what we call the back door and dump everything on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm often chided by my wife that says, "Why didn't you put a mudroom in here?" Anyway, your question about which one they use. One day we had a solicitor come to the back door.
Uh-huh.
And when I dispensed with him, a half a minute later, he rang the front door bell. He thought it was a duplex. So I met him at this door.
You want to go in
Why
front?
don't we go in and look
Yeah,
around?
let's do that.
Bunch of grandkids in the swimming pool right now.
What about these 2x2s? What was the thought there? 'Cause I don't
Well,
think
it's just a design feature, and to break it up, as in contrast to the horizontal redwood siding.
Nice. Because I think they're here and they're on the garage.
And they're on the back side of
Oh, they
the
are.
deck.
Okay.
Come on in and warm up.
Turn the camera off for just a second because it's going to fog up.
Yeah, my glasses are solid fog. So